How's it going, folks? So your only way to true freedom is if you enjoy your own company. Let me tell you this, people. It's something I've discovered in my short life here thus far. But talking to different people, learning from different people, seeing how other people's lives are. You know, I've grew up around older gentlemen, people I know, and I've kind of experienced life's lessons early on, and that's kind of where I get my older head from, or maybe it's got me that way of thinking because I've always associated with older people. But yeah, if you don't enjoy your own company, you can never be truly happy or free, because the thing is, we're a long time in our shell, we're a long time in our life, we're a long time in our own internal dialogue. How we talk to ourselves, how we feel about ourselves lasts for us sometimes our whole lives, because of our opinion of ourselves is more valuable than anything that's going on, because we know how well we can be doing in life, we know how far we can push our potential, but it's if we're doing that. You know, we know how good we can be at something, we know how successful we can be at something, but it's are we actually achieving it? You know, these determine how we feel about ourselves, these determine what our viewpoint of ourselves is. This helps you when you're trying to enjoy your own company. Think of a proactive person that you know you can name this person that's happy in their own company, that's got things going on for themselves, because they've got all the psychological dramas, they've got all the psychological baggage out of the way, they've put that to one side, they've kind of made their mind up in their mind of who they are, and they're happy in themselves. You see, the thing is, if you don't enjoy your own company, you've got to ask yourself why. If you're sat on your own with no music on, no telly, no distractions, and you're not content with yourself, why is that? When you start asking your questions to yourself like this, you really start to discover how to improve your life. Because if you don't know how or why you're upset with yourself, or why you're upset all the time, let's say, then how are you meant to ever change it? So get yourself in your room on your own, no distractions, 15 to 30 minutes. Is there anything I can do to improve my life? How do I actually feel about myself? See, everybody's so scared of looking mad in this world, but the best conversations that you have and the biggest ideas that you have is coming from talking to yourself, discovering what's in your own mind, not listening to the distractions of the world, not doing what's impressionable, not doing what your family or your friends think you should be doing, not living in somebody else's image. That's how you become so authentic, when you get so comfortable in your own company. And sometimes all it takes is a camping trip somewhere on your own. Sometimes all it takes is spending a bit of time on your own, coming off social media, putting down technology, not living through an identity, you know, and seeing who you are off these platforms. Sometimes these platforms, they create identities. They're not helpful for people being happy on their own. People are never on their own anymore. People go home and they can be in touch with millions of people at one time. Nobody's ever on their own anymore. And we're living in a world of so upset, miserable, depressed, mentally ill people. Look at it. That's just being honest. People are so distracted by these platforms and technology, and they get introduced to it to such a young age that they don't know who they are anymore. They're never spending time on their own. And they're always watching what's impressionable, what's the next dance, what's the next in thing that's happening, what's the next thing to talk about. Nobody's actually discovering anything about themselves and finding what they actually find purposeful and meaning. And sometimes that doesn't start with oh, I've got goals to do. No, I've got shit to sort out. I'm an unhappy person. I'm bringing misery to myself because of X, Y, and Z. I eat too much shit food, or I drink too much beer, or I'm not doing enough exercise. All these things come up. And then you can make the choices. And this is the thing that makes the difference. When you make better choices for yourself, you look through your bullshit, you sort all your own mind out, you sort all your own problems out, you're in charge of yourself, number one. And number two, when you're in your own company, you're fucking mint. You've got nothing to be sad about, because if you've got your head in the right order, you will have tacked your day and made the most out of that day, because you've accessed your potential. People are so succumbed to their own mental entrapment on identity. Identity is a massive thing these days, but anything that's going on, they're so encapsulated with their own head that they forget that, you know, you've got to live out your head, you've got to live your life, you've got to do things other than what other people think. You've got to discover more about yourself. Are you acting in certain ways to make you feel better about something that's happened in your past? Or something that you're going through? Are you acting off an emotional basis? People who are always emotionally reactive and act on an emotional basis, they don't make better decisions for themselves. People who are in sound mind, have got stability over their emotions, come to some form of levelling with themselves, can gain more control, can decide what to do, can see in the head, they can see in their own mind, they're more aware of the self. So yeah, bit of a food for thought. Like I say, if you're watching these videos, I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, or any forms of means. It's just good to process life and get things that's going on inside the membrane out. And yeah, it's not your typical YouTube videos, it's not your prank videos, or it's not, you know, anything like that. It's just raw stuff, philosophical stuff, individual stuff, to make people look at themselves in an individual basis to improve their lives, if I could get my words out. I'm not too bad for a dyslexic kid. So yeah, as I always say on this channel, peace and love to anybody watching this. Make sure you're taking it easy. Make sure you're looking inside your internal dimension. Talk to yourself more. Can you be living a better life? Can you make better decisions for yourself? Are your emotions ruling your world? You know, do you make decisions based on other people's thoughts and feelings, or the image that you should be portraying online? They are simple questions that you should be able to go away and answer. And believe me, if you can find an answer for it, you'll become more aware of yourself and decide if these are the best decisions for you. Yeah, man.